Hello and welcome to the Physiology of Endurance Running, Road to Valencia. There's 6 weeks to go and I'm joined by Dan and Jen. Jen, how's it going?
It's good. I'm on a bit of a down week this week, so I feel like I have loads of free time, but nothing to fill it with. So I don't know if that's tragic or not, to be honest.
Filling it recording with us.
Yeah, that's right.
And Dan, how's it going, Dan?
I'm good. Yeah, I've had light at the end of a tunnel. I'm out of a dark hole that I was in, and feeling much more positive and excited to run a marathon in 6 weeks' time. So
I,
that's good.
I was going to say there's some serious oven, I don't know, oven action going on, I think, between the two of you maybe.
One's
Don't know what
going
you
in,
mean.
one's going out.
Let's just say by Tuesday morning, I'd already done more mileage this week than last week. So that was a good starting point.
We're thriving.
Yeah, six weeks to go. We'll go through the training in a second. I think want to say thanks to Soar, as always.
Yeah, and we've said about it already in the podcast, but if you happen to be out in New York for the marathon this weekend, then Soar are doing an event on the Friday, which are doing it's like a progression run, right, where you get dropped, which I'm not sure what I think about, to be honest. I thought you're supposed to be doing like a 10-minute mile shakeout run and be all inclusive, but I sort of like the we're going to go a bit aggressive on the Friday and make a proper run of it. But it's 159 Prince Street, New York, combined with Rafa, so some two top end brands there. Stuff going on the Friday, as I said, a 10k progression run, and then Saturday and Sunday, lots going on as well. So you can go to their shop for the Rafa shop, for a whole Soar experience, and open 10 till 7 both Saturday and Sunday, so go check that out. I think there's a whole brand of a whole new line combined with New York coming out, which is pretty cool. I love it when they do have like New Balance do the London Marathon stuff,
Yeah.
etc. It's just cool to see that. However, when I went to Berlin last year to pace Philly, it was just full of Americans in Boston Marathon jackets.
It's the Boston Marathon stuff. It's always that gear.
Boston Marathon stuff is cool, but we don't need to know you ran the Boston Marathon. You're in Berlin now.
Getting your head down, it worked.
Yeah, it got in my head. So yeah, if you happen to be in New York, go check them out. If you're not in New York, there's loads of winter stuff coming out on their website. We've been stress testing a few items, but actually loads more have since come online as well. So go check them out. I'm in love with my all-weather jacket. What was that?
Our giveaway as well was Soar. Check that out.
We've got a giveaway as well, haven't we? Yeah. Link in our show notes. You can win up to £250 credit to spend on Soar. I think closes just after Valencia Marathon. Is that right?
Yeah.
So you've still got plenty of time to put your name forward. All you need to do is put your email address in, sign up to their mailing list, and you'll be in a chance to win £250 of Soar credit. So that would be a nice Christmas present, wouldn't it? Go and have a bit of a shopping spree on the Soar website. So go check them out.
I wouldn't say no to Soar socks for Christmas.
Can't go wrong with a pair of socks for Christmas, can you?
Yeah.
David's a big fan of the pair we had to fight over, to be fair. He's considering wearing them for the Valencia Marathon.
I'm 100% wearing mine.
Yeah, I'm wearing mine.
He needs to stress test them a few more times. By that point, they'll have holes in.
Yeah, they won't be white anymore.
Yeah, they definitely won't be white. I'll have to get a fresh pair.
Yeah, my first round of Soar socks are definitely not white anymore.
No, putting the new ones next to them.
It'd be like you put them in the washing basket. As soon as they're out of the washing basket, they've been worn. They're back in the washing basket again. So,
or you lose a pair, one of the pair, and then you're screwed anyway. Our washing machines to eat socks.
What have you been doing to your washing machine?
I don't know. Or it's a person that loads it really, really poorly, which would be me, and they never come back out as a pair.
Yeah.
Wait until you've got kids' socks, which are like tiny. There's like a million of them because they get through socks like anything. That's a whole nother level. Okay, a whole nother level for you to look forward to.
Can't wait.
Who's going first? Jen, do you want to go
I can
first?
do, or should we start with yours? You had a big
Yeah.
week.
Let's
I guess
start
I
with
did the
Owain.
lowest
Yeah.
mileage, so I'll go first.
Yeah,
No, you
let's
didn't. I
start
did
with
the
you.
lowest
Oh,
mileage.
actually,
We
yeah.
can whip through mine in 5 minutes if you
Okay,
like.
yeah. I wasn't
We
even
get.
fishing for that one.
No, go on. You go first. You go
Yeah.
first. You've had a much more
Um.
exciting week.
Yeah.
So this was coming off the 3x15 float 15 hard long
Mhm.
run. So yeah. I think I sort of discussed it last week, but I guess the mindset was like do that session because that session is well the training is about Valencia, but do that session and then taper really hard. I think when we were sending voice notes back and forth, Dan, um, like you basically said, like if you're going to taper, do it properly. Like don't sort of half-ass it and end up not running loads, but also not being fresh for a race. So yeah, the sort of overall aim of the week was taper into Stroud half, which is on the Sunday. But the Monday morning, I just did my normal hour easy. I just thought for the first day and a half I'd keep it normal. Um, that was still the really bad weather, and it was horrible. To the point where like it was too dark, like well, it was too wet to run with my head torch, so I had to just like abandon my route and go on the road to like.
That would have been quite stressful for you, I can imagine.
I just like someone came out of the like rain and darkness, and I almost like ran into them because like my torch just couldn't see through all of the rain. So I was like, oh, this just sucks. I just
It's when the
wasn't
light's
happy.
reflecting off all the raindrops, isn't it? You just
Yeah,
you can't see a thing.
and
Yeah.
you just feel like you're just in this like sort of never-ending tunnel, and like I get a bit dizzy, like because I can't see like the horizon or anything. It feels really weird. So
Did you have a
yeah, that
cap
wasn't
on?
no cap
Because
because
that's what I
it blocks
find
the
helps a little bit. If you can have like a
yeah
cap on where your head torch on the top, just sort of
yeah. I'd
shielding the
have the
raindrops.
cap really high. um, but yeah, no. So normal morning, and then in the afternoon I was only going to do like half an hour, but then Rachel was like, "Oh, should we just do our normal loop?" So I did 40 minutes. By the end of it, I was like, oh, I'm pretty tired. Um, yeah, like definitely feeling the session the day before.
Mm.
And then I was in this sort of debate in my mind then, do I do a session, like a small session on Tuesday or Wednesday? And I thought, if I do it on the Wednesday, I've got more time to freshen up from the long run, but then it's closer to the race. If I do it on the Tuesday, obviously I'm still going to be tired from the long run, but have more time post race. And I just thought, just try do it on Tuesday, and then literally as soon as the session is done, let's recovery and taper. And it was going to be a smaller session anyway. Like in my head, it was 10 by 3 minutes. But yeah, I stepped out the door to warm up, and I was like, I'm just feeling really tired, like just instantly really cooked. And in my head, it was like do 30 minutes of work in the session, then do 15 warm up, 15 cool down, just get to around hour. 5 minutes in, I was like, I'm doing 5 minutes cool down. Like I'm not doing my normal cool down. Um, and then yeah, go on the treadmill, and I felt fine. It was just tired, and if anything, my heart rate wasn't coming up that much or as much as I'd expect. So I called it after 8 3-minute reps. So just did 24 minutes of session. Yeah, I was just like 24 minutes is enough. Like this is just sort of a little bit of extra. I probably could have actually just done the whole week without a session, but I thought this might help in the long run. But yeah, glad I called it off at that point. I hit the carbs quite hard as well, and actually, I got a question in my Strava comments from Reese Cordy. He was just asking about why I was taking carbs during a 30-minute session. And I think really, like I said to him in Strava, but like the aim was again recovery. It was like I probably don't need 80 grams of carbs for 24 minutes of work, but I thought the whole point of this is to recover. Well, the whole point of this week is to taper and feel fresh. So rather than not having any carbs or having a little bit, it's like just have more than enough. And it costs like £1 for me to make because it's like my own mix. So it's like for £1, I can definitely be recovered. I can cycle into work and not be like, I have to eat the second I get in. I thought it was just a bit safer. Um,
So when
yeah,
you launching your energy gel company?
well, there's not much to it. It's literally just a scoop of a roughly weighed scoop of malto and a scoop of fructose. So
Well, that's what they all
yeah,
are. That's what they all
I know
are.
there's no flavoring or anything though. It's just sweet. not much to it.
Pirelli
I don't know.
gels. I like it.
Yeah, I do want to try and make a gel at some point. If I have some time. Yeah, that'll be the next thing. I'll keep some of the 90-gram precision packs would be
just some
perfect.
pectin in there,
Yeah.
and you're done.
Yeah, I think it's the cooling that's the tough bit, and you can't keep them too long as well. So I'm not sure every week making gels is sustainable. I already feel like I'm teetering on the edge of sustainability at the moment.
I feel like imagine you like in a white lab coat with some goggles on in your garage next to the treadmill mixing up this gel.
A little camping stove.
Yeah.
I definitely like, because I imagine if you spill it and like if you spill it on your skin, it probably actually really messes you up because it's like boiling sugar. So it's probably actually really dangerous. So yeah, maybe not. Not knowing.
I don't think it's that dangerous, but Heisenberg here, like you leave it for another day, I reckon.
Yeah, leave it to when I'm not 6 weeks from a marathon. So next morning, again, just an hour easy, but normally I would have doubled, which I didn't do. Felt okay. I actually felt better than Monday, so I was like, it's probably going okay. And then seeing as I mentioned it last week, and I got some good messages off people, so I did another session on Wednesday night with Scarlett, the psychologist, and we worked on, if I get the name right for it, it's like distancing. So as in, like distancing ideas or distancing like negative thoughts and like some sort of very easy, in theory, ways to like distance yourself from the sort of the thoughts that you get before and during a race. So we basically went through some of the thoughts you get. So like, when it starts to feel tough in a race, and like obviously that manifests different for everyone, but the classic like feeling rubbish during a warm up, which everyone has. Just even the general like sort of doubting, like, oh, should I be doing this? Like, can I run this time? That sort of thing. And then these ways of distancing the thought. So there's some that I was like, no, I'm definitely not going to use those. Like one of them is like you just say the thought back to yourself in a funny voice. I was like, I don't think I'm going to do that.
I don't think I can take myself seriously.
Another one was just repeating the thought constantly until it like actually goes out of your mind, which I tried during the week, but was harder to do during the race. But the one that really worked for me is visualization, and the visualization Scarlett suggested was just imagine the thought is a cloud, and you just like the thought is in a cloud, and then you're just like, okay, the cloud's gone, and it like moves out of your head. And we worked on that on Wednesday night, and then I'll come to it during the race, but that worked really, really well. I was just like, any point I was like, oh, this is getting hard, I was just like, oh, there's a cloud, and then it's gone. And I felt like it worked really well. Even in the warm up and the build up, I was just like, oh, like it's just a thought, just let it sort of move on like a cloud.
I really like that.
Like just like it was almost like you sidestepped the thought, and you're just like just watching it sort of go. So that was a really, really good session. Like I said to her, like after we were done, I was like, I think that's going to be really useful, and it was on Sunday. But yeah, that was a good session again. Then Thursday, time of runs is starting to come down, so I just did 40 minutes. In reality, it was like 37, and then I quickly chucked on my race shoes because I haven't actually worn them. They've been sat in a box for 2 weeks up until this point, and every time I thought I had an opportunity to try them, either me and Rachel would end up running later than I thought, so it'd be dark, and I was like, I don't want to try these out in the dark on the street outside, or it would be really wet, and I was like, I don't want to get these soaked. Sort of like if I want to try send them back, like.
So what's the rationale about the dark? I don't understand that one.
I just feel like if I'm just trying to run fairly fast down my street, like I'm just going to trip over or something. I'm just thinking about it being dark. Also, like I'm just at that point, I'm like, I just want to get in and eat, rather than go inside, put on another pair of shoes, and then go back outside and look like a bit of a weirdo running up and down the street. So I tried out I bought some Asics Metaspeed Skies. I mean, to be honest, we've talked about this. Like, we have no idea what each of them really does. There's the marketing, but I don't think that really bears true. I mean, I listened.
It's really clear. If you get faster by increasing your stride length, then you go for the Sky. And if you go more of a cadence runner, you go for the Edge. Despite the fact that everybody does a combination of both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's clear as mud, isn't it?
I think I had read the Doctors of Running review, which is a really good review website of both of them, and then I'd listened to both when you were on Shoe Geeks, Dan, and the Shoe Geeks, the Inside Running Shoe Geeks, the episode before they also went through them. I listened to that twice, and I still had no idea what one to get. And I think I came to the conclusion that the Edge is maybe built more for people that heel strike a bit to get them from their heel to their toe. Whereas if anyone's seen me run, my heel goes nowhere near the ground. So we thought maybe the Sky was better. And yeah, they felt really good, like trying them out outside. They're crazy loud. They're so loud. There was a few people in the Alpha Fly 3, which I think is louder at the race on Sunday. But these were really loud. Like I was running up and down the street, I was like, I can hear these like echoing off of the houses. They're just like a real big slap.
The original Alpha Fly was the loudest shoe, I think.
Yeah.
No
I
wonder
remember
you-
hearing those.
They would just slap, wouldn't they? Because it was so rigid in the forefoot with the pods. But you'd hit the first pod, and then as you pronate, you'd hit the second pod. So it was like just slapping the ground. But yeah, I agree, they are loud. I was running them in Mallorca, the Edge ones, and it was just like I could just early in the morning, no one around, I could just hear the sound bouncing off the walls, like echoing around.
It's really weird. But yeah, they were. I wore them. I messaged you guys. I was like, these are mad, because all of my PBs were in the Adios Pro 2, so that's 3 years old. And this is just like it's another level on top of them.
So I think you think they're so good because you've missed 2 generations of
Yeah.
good shoe, to be honest. Because even the Pro 3, the Tokyo, the Paris versions were better than the Pro 3, I would say. And having tested them as well, they were better. And then the Tokyo version is a step forward again. So I mean, now you're got rockets on your feet.
Like one of the things you said on the Inside Running Shoe Geeks, was when you did the Alpha Fly versus Pro 3. And I was going to say, that was my first day at Cardiff Met, was doing that test review. When you said about that, I was like, oh, that's a good memory. And because you didn't say your Alpha Flies had a huge chunk of foam missing. So maybe it wasn't the fairest test.
That ruined the narrative though. So I wasn't going to include that.
But I remember, like you said then, and I remember you saying at the time, like the Pro 3s didn't feel special, but they were good. And I would agree. Like I have a pair of Pro 3s. I've done a couple of races in them. They don't feel particularly special, but I'm sure they're good. But yeah, the Asics felt like really good. So I was pretty happy with those. And then Friday, so that was 40 minutes. So just really cutting. Normal Thursday for me would be an hour and 40 minutes, not 40 minutes. So really starting to take effect with the taper. Friday, just 30 minutes. Ran down to Hardlines, got pumpkin pie again.
Did you have a day off work?
Yeah, so my parents came over to basically like help us sort our garden out. So it maybe wasn't the most relaxing day. I did sort of let that. I was like, you guys do it. Like, I'll do some of the heavy lifting, but not all of it. There was a point though where I was carrying a couple of like 90-liter bags of wood chip, and I was like, I've got a race in a day and a half. Like maybe I shouldn't be doing this. But yeah, no, had the day off, which is quite nice as well.
Nice. Can you talk us through the selection of sweet treats that is on your Strava?
Yeah. So the one at the front is my pumpkin pie. I got it with the ice cream this time, and that makes it 9 out of 10. It was really good. Then my dad had the banana and chocolate chip loaf with, I think it's salted caramel butter.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, that's good. And then my mum had the granola with like fresh fruit, which I think if someone does a good granola, that's pretty good. Like, yeah, big fan of granola. So a good trip to Hardlines. And then Saturday, just did 25 minutes. I just did 7 Bridge Park Run. I've got this thing on my Power of 10 this year. I've done a park run, and like I only do it once, and then I've not intentionally done it. It's just sort of happened, and now I'm like, well, I can't repeat a park run. So yeah, having to go further afield. But we were driving. I was going to Cheltenham to stay with my parents, so it was sort of on the way. which is quite nice. The weather was okay, which is good. I think if the weather's grim on Seven Bridge Park Run, it's pretty horrible.
Oh yeah.
So you're going to do the alphabet challenge then?
No, absolutely not. No.
You'll be flying out. Where do they fly out to? The Netherlands to collect the Z.
I have absolutely no interest in any of that. But just for I don't care about I don't care about things like that. I don't care about mixing kilometers and miles, but I do care about my power of 10 having just one of every park run. So no repeats.
Give it a few years, you'll be on a flight out to the Netherlands. I could see that really ticking your boxes.
No, absolutely not. No way. But yeah, that was 25 minutes. I still felt a bit tired. So at this point I was a bit like, am I going to feel okay? Have I was Sunday's session too close to the race? But then at the same time I was like, again, Valencia's the goal. So finished this, immediately started the carb load. I'd had quite a lot of carbs the day before, but I hadn't really tracked. I was just like, every time I went in the house, I was just like, grab a biscuit, grab some sweets. On Saturday, really hit it hard. So I think I managed to do around 800 grams of carbs, which is, I think that's 12 or 13 grams of carbs per kilo body weight for me.
It's quite aggressive for a half marathon.
I know, yeah. Well, I was like, it's practicing for Valencia, and I do genuinely think it really works for even a half. And I would say actually, like for you especially, Dan, like for an hour and 4 to 6 minutes, maybe carb loading doesn't work. I'm then pushing into that hour and 12 minutes, and then there'll be people that are running for an hour and 40 minutes, and they should definitely be carb loading, I think. Because
I'm
in terms of time,
because in terms of time, but you pretty much burn the same amount of calories whether you're running a mile in 5 minutes or 7 minutes. And actually, the lower the intensity, the longer you are, then the more you're getting your energy from fat rather than carbohydrates. But then, maybe if you're someone who's a bit heavier, obviously you're burning more energy per mile, so maybe you need to carb load more. And if you're heavier, then you're probably going to be out there a little bit longer. I don't know. I don't think it's never going to hurt you, unless you really overdo it and you're just a bit heavier than you need to be. You feel bloated. You just don't feel good on the start line. I'm a bit undecided. I don't think you should be restricting, but I wouldn't be as aggressive as you. But you love carbs.
I've probably got type 2 diabetes, to be honest. I think there's a lot of things you can do that make a carb load really easy, to the point where now if I hear people saying, it's really, really difficult, I'm like, I don't think you've really thought about it. Like, I had 3 packs of wine gums, and that was 600 grams of carbs. And the last pack feels horrible to eat.
3 packs of wine gums, though.
I was brushing my teeth. I brushed my teeth 4 times during the day. It doesn't feel, I would rather be eating something savory, but it's not particularly hard to eat them, I don't think.
I would find it hard to eat that many wine gums. I hate wine gums. I'm more of a Haribo guy.
Yeah, so use the Haribos. Yeah, I think there's jelly babies. Yeah,
I'm team jelly baby. I think
mix them up.
Wine gums. I can't stand wine gums, but it's like an old woman's sweet, isn't it? Wine gums.
I don't like wine gums either. Nah. Team jelly. Team jelly baby.
But yeah, I don't think it's too hard if you do that, if that's your base, and then even if you just use a drink mix to get a lot of the rest.
Oh, I 100% agree. That's my first recommendation is 2 recommendations. Front load it, so you're going morning, breakfast, lunch. Not really heavy in the evening, which I think what people do and get wrong.
That was what I was going to say as well.
Digesting into the next day. Then the second thing is go for liquids to complement that. So Lucozade or energy drink, orange juice,
sugary Coke
stuff.
Orange juice.
Yeah.
And I'd agree. Yeah, the front loading. I had dinner at my parents. I just had a bowl of pasta at my parents quite early. I think we ate at 5 o'clock, and then we did have the clocks going back. So effectively, it was in my head, I was like, this is 4 o'clock for a 9 o'clock race sort of thing. Which is when I would normally stop as well. I also stop at least 12 hours before I'm going to wake up.
Stop eating completely.
Yeah. So have everything done, because to me, like if I'm eating too late, then I don't sleep, and then
Okay.
also it gives you time to digest it. I think
Yeah.
it's
And
what's
once
worked
it's
for
in
me.
the muscle, it's not going to go anywhere. It's in the
Yeah,
muscle. It's pretty much locked in then. The only
yeah.
thing that you need to worry about in the morning is that liver glycogen and getting that back up. But that's actually not that large amount of carbohydrates. I want to say like 100 grams, 150 grams max.
That sounds
Uh,
right. And I mean, Tim, if you're interested, go and listen to the Tim Podlegar episode, because we talk about this, don't we, quite a lot. Um, and then he then sets out what to do in terms of before a race, in terms of how many grams of carbs based on the time, like before the race as well. But yeah, I think finishing early is a really really big part of it as well. Like if you're still eating at 8 o'clock, like you're not going to sleep. Like it's already hard enough to sleep, and quite often you're also sleeping in a different bed, and you just got your head's going at a million miles an hour. So if you can make it slightly easier on yourself, I think that's beneficial. I think the other thing I'd say, where you're saying like not sure if carb loading works, I would say I'd rather carb load than I saw a lot of photos of people's like flat lays before Valencia, especially with like 5 gels, and I was like, what are you doing
for
with
the
five
half
gels?
marathon.
Yeah, like why do you need 5 gels? Like, and chances are they're probably not carb loaded, and it's like you could do it for cheaper. And I think having that many gels during a race, first of all, probably doesn't work that well. But second of all, probably going to have more GI distress than carb loading aggressively the day before, I think.
Oh,
Um,
100% is more risky. And I, Podliger was also saying about that once you're going above LT2, like threshold, then your ability to absorb carbs is really inhibited. And in a half marathon, you're always going to be treading that fine line.
yeah,
In a marathon, it's just one step back
back.
from
Yeah,
the threshold for most of it. So you are going to tolerate it a bit better. I 100% agree. I would always be maybe one gel during a half marathon,
yeah. I mean,
probably
we'll come
not
on
more
to
than
that in
that.
a minute. Yeah, but yeah,
We'll
like
let you continue.
yeah, but like yeah. So I'd rather smash the carb load, and also it's good practice for Valencia, I think. Like I know,
That's one thing I feel like I really need to practice because I haven't got a clue really when it comes to carb loading what to do.
are you going to try it before like a long run? Do you think? Yeah,
Yeah, I think like a couple of weeks time, probably like
yeah,
test it out. Um,
Every next long run you do before Valencia, carb load,
okay,
then you will know that when on that Saturday before, you won't panic about it. You'll have just done it.
yeah,
That's what I get all my athletes to do. That
yeah,
when you're a marathon block, the last 6 weeks, you're carb loading every session,
yeah.
every
Like
long run session.
I've
Not if
I've
you're obviously
now
doing a threshold stuff, but if you're
yeah,
doing,
yeah.
yeah
and some
Every
of them are doing
Sunday, every
40K
Sunday.
hard long runs, some of them are doing like 2.5 hour progression runs.
Yeah.
So they are pretty big sessions. Like they're not far off doing a marathon.
Mm.
Intensity only a little bit below, but it also just helps you recover better from it, and just I think mostly the confidence that you've done it. If you've done it 5 times and you've been fine,
Yeah.
you just do the
yeah
same thing before the race, and you don't even worry about it.
yeah. Like
Watch
that was
watch this space.
that was the third time I've done it this year, and like to the point where I don't even feel like I need to actually like write down what I'm eating, because I know that like okay, this pack of wine gums 200 grams, like that's the chunk of it done, and it sort of it's not quite autopilot, but it is like, oh yeah, this is just normal. So definitely recommend trying. But so hit the carbs really hard on Saturday. And then, like I said, we had the extra hour sleep. I did not get that benefit because I couldn't sleep. So I actually saw the clocks go back. I
Oh
was reading. So I went to sleep for like an hour and a half, and then I woke up and I was like, oh, if I just dozed off for like 5 minutes, and then looked, I was like, oh, I've been asleep a while. And then my brain was working. And then I was lying there still at, 2 o'clock, then went back to 1 o'clock. And I was like, oh, this sucks. But yeah, it wasn't great. But no, woke up, had some toast and honey in the morning, just a little bit of carbs. I did mean to buy some orange juice and completely forgot, um, because I haven't had that before a race, and I did want to try before Valencia because I figure that's probably going to be really easy to get in Valencia. Um, but yeah, no, so had some carbs, drove over to the race. The conditions were like I don't think you could get any better. Again, sort of kind of funny that like not in a poking fun way, but like people flew to Valencia and got like sort of
Headwind.
screwed by the heat and headwinds. And then we had like, I think it was like 5 degrees on the start, and there was a little bit of wind, but it was fine. Like, made no difference at all. Yeah, just absolutely perfect, like clear skies. Yeah, it was kind of like, yeah, we're on the start line of this little like town half marathon. Yeah, in sort of the middle of the UK, and like with absolutely perfect weather. Yeah, was kind of, yeah, nice that it worked out that way. Yeah, then warm up, did just a 10 minutes jogging, 2.5 minutes hard, and then like 3 or 4 minutes jogging. Um, Again, like I think you talked about it with Jake, right, Dan? That like Jake just jogged. You did some sort of priming, and it's just that first K. Like you just want to make sure that first K doesn't. You're not going into that sort of, I don't want to say that oxygen debt, but you're not using any sort of non-oxidative fuel sources, I guess. And I don't know, it's just part of my routine now as well, I think.
Yeah, I also think the more you're waiting around on the start line, like you are on some of these bigger races, the more it just helps you feel better for the first K. Because if you have just jogged, you've not got that warm, you've not ramped up that metabolism. So you jog for 15 minutes and then you can stand on the start line for 15 minutes and
Yeah.
feel really bad when you start off. And sometimes that just sets the tone for the race, I find.
Yeah.
But your legs just never wake up.
Yeah. 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 In my head as well, it was the slightly downhill first kilometer, and I was like, this is probably going to go out quite hard. Yeah. So I thought, well, let's try it. Let's see what happens. But yeah. So I can't remember if I went through my race plan last week, but just really briefly, the plan was, so my LT2 heart rate's like 1.7, I think maybe 1.76. So my plan was to do the first 6K where there's a lot of the climbing is in the first 6K. My plan was to not go over 168 BPM, and then the next 10K at 175, so at LT2, and then the last 5K just run home sort of thing. So the race started and obviously went out really fast because it was downhill, and it was way deeper than I think I expected, and I think a lot of people expected. So like a group of 8 just went off at the front, whereas I think last year or 2 years ago, like the top 10, like 10th was 1 hour 25, and there was like 8 guys off the front that ran, I think, like a low 3 minute first K. So yeah, really hard first K. And then I ended up in what ended up being the second group with like 13 people. And I was a bit like, what's going on here? Like, why is this group so massive? But yeah, I got sort of a K and a half in, and I was already at
Can we
175.
shout out your 3:13 opening K?
I know,
Did we
yeah,
say that
downhill.
already?
Yeah.
3:13 opening K.
It
He's
felt
just
really
going to
easy.
PB by 10 minutes here. He's
Yeah.
off at 68 minute. Was that 67-minute pace? Something like
I think
that.
so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it went out hard. That's obviously then why my heart rate was at 175, and basically didn't come down. But yeah, I basically just sat on the back of this group, and yeah, all of the climbing was, or most of the climbing was in the first 6K. So just sat on the back of the group for most of that, and then yeah, felt sort of good by that point, and then after 6K there or about 7K there was a water station, and I mean we're going to experience this in Valencia, but like it just completely like split everything up, because some people want to go get the water, some people don't, and then like people are slowing down, people like instinctively speed up. But yeah, ended up on the front of this group then at 7K, and feeling pretty good. Yeah, like yeah, sort of I wasn't looking at pace, I was just making sure my heart rate was below 175, and if it was going above, I was just like sort of just backing myself off a bit. Um, and then yeah, was on the front of the group for about 3 or 4K, and then the last sort of climb was at like between 10 and 11K, and I started to feel like I had a bit of a stitch, sort of going up that. So I was like, okay, like just back off a little bit, because also I was like, we've still got 10K to go. Like I don't need to push on this climb. And sort of took about a K, but the stitch went. But like I was then off the back of the group, and the group had like split up. yeah, then started like working my way back through the group again, not looking at my heart rate, just sort of rolling with it. And then by about 15k, I felt like really good, like really, really strong. Was really starting to like go past people, just constantly catching someone, not quite running with them, but like slowly going past them and then just on to the next person. And there was like really good support on the course as well, considering it was a bit of a like, small half and in the middle of the countryside, some of it. So yeah, felt just really strong. And then got to there was a 10k on that started at 11k for us. So it meant that we had our mile markers plus we had the kilometer markers from the 10k, which is quite useful. So constantly had like I knew exactly where it was, and basically just got to where I saw the 5k mark, and I was like, okay, just run as hard as I can now to the finish, and caught a few more people. Obviously at this point, heart rate's sort of gone way higher, but felt like just felt so strong the whole way. And
It
then
picks up really nicely, like 319, 321 the last 2k.
yeah, and those were back up the hill that the first k had been down as well. So I was like, that's not too bad. Finished. Stopped my watch, and it was 1:13:01, and I was like, oh, I really hope I get the chip time on my side, and I did. Like I'd started my watch before the gun, and then stopped it like over the line, so I was like, ended up being okay. So around 1:12:58, which is a really big PB, like a minute 45, I think PB.
Massive PB,
Yeah, I mean it helps when you don't race. So
And you update your shoes.
yeah, that too. Yeah, it's all the shoes, wasn't me.
But it wasn't on a good, but it wasn't a fast course, was it?
It was constantly up or down. Like even the points where it looks like fairly flat, you still got like motorway bridges and stuff. I would say like there wasn't a single hill that was worse than like any hill at Cardiff Half, but there was constantly hills. So where you have 5k of flat and then a hill, and then another like 6k of flat at Cardiff Half, like there was just no flat running like that, so you couldn't get into a rhythm. But
yeah, I mean, your Strava's given it 129 meters of elevation gain. From memory, I think Valencia Marathon is 60 meters.
yeah,
So it's twice as long and half as much climbing. Did you look up, are you on Meteo Pace? What did that give you?
It doesn't have when the race isn't featured, it doesn't give you like each K. I think it gave us 1 second in terms of the weather, like 1 second a K.
But what about the climbing?
It didn't because it doesn't have the course, so it doesn't give you the climb. And I've not got pro, so I can't see.
You need to go for a pro,
yeah,
and
they need to invite me. Only one of us on here has got that so far.
You need to have a word with Phil, and he'll sort you out. I'll put you
I would
in
say
touch.
Meteo Pace was really good during the week, also because I'm a bit of a weather nerd. I think it's also really good because now you can just, if someone's like, oh, it was really hot. Like I saw loads of people saying that it was really hot after, is it London 10K? And like now you have Meteo Pace, you can go and look and be like, nope, that was only worth 2 seconds, okay? Like, wasn't that hot?
Depends how much you trust the algorithms, though, doesn't it? But
if it's saying something I think, then I'm trusting it.
It's what I want to read. Right.
But so I didn't take a gel at all during, which I think, I'd put that down to the carb load. Like, obviously, I had a gel in my pocket, but at no point did I feel like I needed it. And also I was like, I don't think I really want to take this. But never felt like I needed it. But no, really, like, I'm really happy, but also like this was, we were saying before we started recording, like this was like, it was getting a time to move up a pen at Valencia. So I'm a bit like, okay, I achieved that sort of Valencia marathons next. Whereas if this had been the goal, I'd be like, whoa, I did a big PB sort of thing.
You'll probably like reflect on it in after Valencia and be like, actually, that was like really good. I think sometimes at the moment when you've still got that bigger goal, it's really hard to be proud of something you've achieved in the run up to it because you're still thinking about the
main goal. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but no, really happy. Really, Yeah, really good little race. Like I definitely recommend it. There was one like really odd bit where we had to go on the path and do like a U-turn. But no, it was like really good. Yeah, really good little race. There's a few listeners at the finish. I've forgotten their names. I'm really sorry. Actually, the guy that was just behind me, like immediately was like, "Oh, I listened to your podcast," which is pretty funny. No, a few people came and said hello, which was really nice. Yeah,
Such
no,
an
really.
influencer. Such
I
an
know.
influencer.
You just finished too far in front of everyone, Dan.
I hung around for ages at the end of Cardiff half because I had athletes.
Waiting for people.
I was in a hole, so I just didn't move very quickly, and then I kept seeing people come in. And, oh yeah, I'll have a chat with you. People I coach, people I know. So I ended up being there for like 15 minutes at the end of Cardiff half.
I think it's slightly different as well when it's like if it's in Cardiff, we just know loads of people there. Whereas like with this, like I knew a couple of the guys running, but then didn't really know like any other people, but they were just like coming and saying hello, which is kind of nice. But yeah, good. So yeah, very like different week to normal. I think I did 91k. I mean, like definitely yesterday and today where I've got like a bit of quad DOMs. I was a bit like, yeah, I really enjoyed that. Nice to run a PB, but like I want to get back into the normal training as quick as possible. And I'm very glad I'm not doing a half like any closer because I think I've got enough time to get another like three and a half good weeks of training in before Valencia, which is probably enough. And then probably at that point, I'm done, like happy to be done. If it was any closer and it was like 2 weeks left of training, it'd probably be a bit, was that the right choice sort of feeling. Yeah, I wonder if actually maybe like in an ideal situation, like you'd probably race a week or two earlier. That would just give you like 5 or 6 weeks.
I like to leave the last 8 weeks free, ideally. I
Mm.
just think it can work, but it's a bit of a risk in terms of how much that half takes out of you, and then still having a time because you psychologically you want to go into a marathon with momentum, don't you? So you want to have some good sessions between the half and the marathon, and sometimes you do and sometimes you don't. And I'm not trying to put doubt in your head here because
No.
I think it's even more of a challenge if the half marathon doesn't go well, so you don't come out with a good time, and then you've got a bit of fatigue from that race, and you start questioning, should I have bothered doing it? The most important thing is just respecting it, isn't it? And making sure you don't do anything hard until you're actually ready to go hard again.
Yeah, and all my thinking this week is get to Sunday. Like Sunday's the priority. If I can do a session on Thursday, then like yeah, I will. But if I need to just run easy the whole week, like I will. I don't, like you said, you've got to respect it. Like that was an hour and 12 minutes of like at LT2 continuous work. Like that's a massive training load. And I also think I mean I need to sort of read a bit more and like flesh this idea out. But I was doing some reading on like cellular signaling from like exercise and stuff, and I was just thinking like I think people seem to think well there's definitely like weeks are in isolations, like everything resets on Sunday is definitely how some people approach training, isn't it? And then I think even like people approach it like, okay, I've done my training on Tuesday, now it's Wednesday, but actually what you've done on Tuesday influences Wednesday in terms of like even just the signaling, not just like DOMs and like any fatigue and the sort of muscle glycogen state, but like the cellular signaling that's signaling for those adaptations will be influenced by days before. Like that doesn't just disappear overnight, that's still there. And I think that if you just look at like the half from like a signaling perspective, it's probably huge. Like I probably don't need to actually do anything until Sunday, and I would come off of this week the same as if I hadn't raced but done a session on Wednesday and then a session on Sunday. Like
the massive stimulus going into a marathon.
Yeah, massive. And it doesn't just reset. So I think I know like with the guys I'm coaching, it's like like we'll try and do a session, but actually the first thought should be recover for the main next big one, and not just be like, oh well, these people train on Wednesday or my club trains on this day, so I'm going to do this. Like actually, like you don't need to, and it's probably detrimental.
100%. I mean, I had one of my best sessions ever, like 5 days after Cardiff half, but I jogged for 4 days, and then Friday did a session. Went great. I think even if I tried it on a Thursday, I would have still been really struggling.
Yeah.
And like it's hard to understand.
I've sometimes 3 weeks post marathon, I felt in incredible shape, and that's after doing basically nothing for 2 weeks. 10 days of jogging, starting to do a couple of sessions. The first session is always awful, and then second one gets a bit better. My third one, I feel like I can be flying again.
Yeah. Whereas in contrast, like if you rush back, like I know a marathon and then like some of the ultras, like you can, like they're huge, huge things to recover from. But like if you get back too quickly, you just feel stale for so long. But then like that still happens if you do it after a half. Like, yeah, it's still
mentally as well. Like if you don't give yourself time to recover on that front, then like everything feels like a grind anyway. And then you're still not getting what you want out of the training.
Yeah, I can't imagine doing a session tomorrow even. I'm like, no, I'm good. Like, yeah, I just want to jog. Yeah,
definitely.
Is that a learning from Barry 40 there?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, yeah, I was like, oh, I've got to be good to go for this 100K. But yeah, that was definitely a learning.
So you've just run a massive PB in a half. Has it got you thinking about what time you're going to target in Valencia?
No, you've got me thinking about it. You're trying to get in my head with some of your actions this week, Dan.
I'm just saying, but
there's a spreadsheet going around that has a time that I didn't put in it.
Christian Owain will tell you, but it's you should be going for that time. Jack Daniels here has got you at 2:32. I think that's pessimistic, partly because of the course. In terms of Valencia Marathon, assuming the conditions, a normal Valencia Marathon is just going to be so much faster than what you faced on Sunday, and the fact that you're going to convert well from a half to a marathon, and I would expect better than most and better than Jack Daniels' algorithm here. So I reckon the sub 2:30 is on. I'm just going to put it out there. I think a 2:29.59. Being efficient with it.
Johnson Company.
I want to go through halfway in 75 minutes.
Yeah, great.
It'd just be like running.
If you can only do it though. You could only do it if you went 76, 74.
Yeah. I think that would. Yeah,
or 75, 30, 74, 30.
I think my immediate thought to you saying that is like, I obviously do care about the time, but if I can get to 18 miles and feel the same way that I felt at 10 miles for the half, like that will be good. And then just being able to just run hard and like attack the last part, like feels really good. And not feel like you're like, I'm holding off blowing up here sort of thing. So if I can do that, then yeah, that would be the aim. So the aim would be like, to really negative split it if that was going to be like, I think, I go through halfway in 76 and it's like, okay, either I hang on for 2:32 or actually I can really go for it in the second half. It's like the first half is the same sort of no matter what, I think. But
yeah, it is a great feeling being able to like win the group you're in, really push on and drop everybody. Having like been to Valencia twice and had that experience, despite having a small positive split both times, I've still everyone else is just dying a lot more. Everyone else is dying more than I am, and so if you can leave the group you're in, it does give you again that momentum to start chasing people. And 90% of people don't negative split or even split in a marathon. Maybe less so at that top end, but even then, if you can chase people down, it's just such a good feeling. And being in a position to really feel like you can attack it and push that heart rate high rather than hanging on for dear life and your legs just falling off, and then it's just a miserable experience. And only you just psychologically not prepared to push probably as hard as you could because you feel like everything's just falling away from you.
Yeah. No, I know. Yeah, I've not really thought about it, and it will be a lot based on heart rate, like we said.
I'm just trying to get in your head, Owain.
I know. Last week it was Jen. This week it's Dan. Who's it going to be next? Yeah. No, we'll see. Got a few more weeks to get through. Also, I've been led to believe, for me and Jen at least, at Valencia, like just going to be in a crush. Basically, we're just going to be carried along. There's not going to be room to actually move your arms.
I hope it's not a complete crush.
Yeah,
Jen'll be all right. She'll be at the front.
Yeah, I'll be one step ahead of everyone else.
Like I didn't think there was packs. I thought it was just continuous people from about like 2:15 back.
I don't know, a bit further back. From
Dan's
2:15 onwards, it's definitely like there's definitely packs. It just forms naturally. I don't know. At one point, it just becomes one continuous mass of running. What would 2:30 get you at Valencia? It must be
I'll have a look whilst you're going through your week.
Yeah.
What, 500?
No, that's what I was going to say.
Way lower, I reckon.
The first year I ran it, I think I from memory I ran 2:15 and I was 80th, 70th, and it's only going to get more densely packed, isn't it?
Boom, boom, boom.
I think last year maybe I was in my 50s with 2:12, which is insane.
That's mad. Can't wait to like try and sprint to the line to finish in like 550th position.
Well, you'll be, you can't count them in that though, can you?
Yeah, someone's on the side of the road yelling to you.
Who's going next then? Is that your week wrapped up?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, 91k and a race.
It's a good week.
Yeah,
it's a good week. Very good week.
Jen,
shall I go next, or do you want to go, Dan?
Let's keep the same order. I like the habit.
You like going last?
Yeah.
I was going to say, we haven't kept the same order.
I was going to say, usually I'm going first.
Well, we've read it already. Well, I'm going to go next then. I'm going to go next and fly through my week. So, coming back off of the Sunday, which I reflected on already last week, but I knew before the end of Sunday that I wasn't quite right. And
I think you knew about 15 miles on Sunday.
I knew within about 5k, but I've already said I made bad decisions that week, and that was the last of the bad decisions. Since I've been trying to make better decisions and act more like I would like my athletes to respond rather than what I did last week. But anyway, looking back at my data. Some of my data, my resting heart rate that morning was 40, which is about 4 or 5 beats higher than it ever is. I don't think that I'm normally average about 36. I can't remember the last time I've seen a resting heart rate in the 40s. My heart rate variability has been awful for about 2 weeks, which I'm only can put down to a bit of illness and then the travel. But anyway, Sunday, I knew I was in a hole. Monday, at this point, I was hoping wishfully that if I just jogged and kept it short and easy, I could get back into my normal routine of doing a session on my Tuesday. But I went out to run, and all you need to know is that my first K was 4:39, which is super slow for me. Average heart rate of 105, but 4:39, that was just me going out the door, not looking at my watch. Which for me is a big red flag, but something's not quite right because I'm normally straight into 4:20 a K pace, or there or thereabouts. The pace did pick up a bit, but averaged 4:28 a K for 48 minutes. My intention had been to do an hour 10, realized that was just not going to happen. I felt pretty bad. So moved on from that one. Tuesday night was really bad with Nye. I think I can't remember. We've had so many bad nights with Nye. They all blur into one. So I was up a lot in the night. I had an opportunity to run first thing between meetings and decided I wasn't going to run, and just didn't feel up to it. Trying to again, what would I get out of it? Nothing. So if in doubt, don't run, which is like the message I give to my athletes. Like if you're in any doubt about whether you should or should not be doing it, you probably shouldn't be doing it. So listen to my conscious thought and did not go for a run on Tuesday. Wednesday was always going to be difficult to train anyway, because I was in Swansea University all day, giving a lecture to their master's students. So it was quite a cool day. They've got a really cool applied sports science course there where they partner you up for a year with an organisation. So Welsh Swimming, I think maybe Ospreys Rugby Club. They have lots of different quite elite levels organisations that they plant you with as like a placement for a year. And then most of the lectures, which is only once a week, most of them are brought in by external people who have got experience in the field. So I went in to do like a marathon workshop. So I did a bit of theory, then we did a field test, which worked really nicely. So you would have never done one, Jen, but pretty much the same as what we'd have done in the park back in the day. But on the Swansea University track, we did a series of 800-meter reps, progressively increasing the pace.
Yeah.
And taking lactates, heart rates. We had a portable metabolic system to measure oxygen consumption. And the whole idea was we were trying to build up a profile of the three big determinants of performance: VO2 max, thresholds, and economy. Measure those in an athlete, comment on what his strengths and weaknesses were. And then in the afternoon session, we broke down that data and worked through a case study of an elite marathon runner, trying to teach them actually what is a good VO2 max and what's a bad VO2 max, what's a good economy, bad economy, and just determinants of performance, and then coming up with a action plan of how are you going to target the weaknesses, how are you going to make the strengths a bigger strength, and talk about more applied physiology rather than just lab-based stuff. So that was cool, but I felt pretty awful all day. There was no chance I was going to run, because I felt bad anyway, and also because I left the house at 7:30 and got back really late as well, because it was a whole day in Swansea. Thursday, got out for a run. We're starting to feel a bit better on Thursday. Right, I thought I'm going to go try a run. What did I do? I think I did 15 minutes. Let's have a scroll.
Just 13.
13 minutes and 18 seconds.
I don't know if is it your sister, Jenny?
It's my mum.
Mum, don't push it, Dan. It was a brilliant comment. That's such a mum comment, actually.
Classic mum comment.
Such a mum comment.
It's a classic my mum comment. It's the only time she comments on my Strava, basically.
My mum says it too.
Telling me to be sensible. And I'm like, Mother, I'm a one with a PhD in sports science, and
look at the week.
She's a good runner. She's a good runner. She's still running. She likes the trail stuff more, but she's in her 60s now and would still go and run a 42-minute 10K. So I think I've got her talent, but she was never as competitive, so she didn't realize probably her potential to the same extent. But I think I nearly have. But anyway, this was a day where I could have gone and done 45 minutes. I didn't feel that awful, but just not quite right. And coming back to trying to be smart, my thought process was, what's the point of doing 45 minutes? That's not going to make me detrain any less. Nope. It's not going to make me any fitter. So if it's still not clicking, there's no point doing it. I will turn around and go home. So I felt like I was nearly there, though, and I was pretty confident by the next day I would be good. So that was nice. And then Friday came around, did feel good. I've commented, I think I'm back on Strava, which is, you should never do that, should you? Because that's just...
that's just setting yourself up for total failure.
Exactly. But I did feel...
Terry was happy, though. Terry was happy.
Terry was happy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
He's happy to see you back.
Yeah, so I did 70 minutes. And normally after a bit of time off, my legs feel awful. I'm one of those people. I have a day off, the next day my legs just don't function because I don't have that many days off. But this was a pleasant surprise. It actually felt really good, both from a wellness point of view, but also my legs just felt nice. Ended up running 408 a K, 122 average heart rate, and I felt 99%, I would say. But didn't want to push it, didn't double that day. I thought I'm going to make sensible decisions. I wanted you guys to hold me account, which you were. You were messaging me in a week, making sure that I wasn't being stupid. Owain was worried that my 13-minute jog was going to be a warm up for a session, but it wasn't. It wasn't.
I saw it and I was like, Dan, don't you dare.
So
I think even Rachel would have sent you an angry message if you had run.
You would have got absolutely hammered if you'd have gone out for a session.
the one time that thinking about what Strava might say is actually beneficial.
Honestly, that is my saving grace, is that because everything on my Strava has been public since I got a Strava account, it does help. You can just think, I'm going to get rinsed if I make a stupid decision here and do something like moronic. So it's just another incentive to be smart with it. Because everyone wants to do more and rush back. But I have learned that if you're patient, just like after a race, you'll come back and you'll be fine. So that was Saturday. That was Friday morning. Didn't double. Could have doubled, but decided no. Let's just bank that good run, feeling good. Saturday, another bloody awful night with Nye. I saw, just. I've had enough of a toddler that doesn't sleep. He's not even a toddler. He's nearly 4. But anyway, that's something else for you both to look forward to at some point. But anyway, Jemima now at this point is ill as well. So I said, but you can have a lion. I will take Nye to Parkrun. Pushed him round in my buggy. But actually, I didn't feel ill outside of a run, but just didn't feel great running. Like I was saying that on the Friday, my legs have felt really good. Saturday, I was expecting them to feel better again. They felt pretty rubbish. I would say my heart rate was a bit high, but it's hard to know because I was pushing the buggy, so I haven't got much reference for what my heart rate should be like in the context of pushing him around a 5K. We kept it quite sensible. I think we ran about 21 minutes, so 4:09 a K, but my heart rate was in the 140s, which if I didn't have a buggy, I'd be running 3:30 a K pace for that, I think. So that doesn't feel like a buggy should add that much extra beats to my to the pace. But anyway, did Parkrun. I was going to double later, but actually that afternoon felt just not great. And again, why risk it? At this point, I'm really doubting myself. Am I ill? Am I still ill? Have I just lengthened the recovery process because I've done too much training, try to jump back too soon? Am I still recovering from that stupid weekend of doing 20K of work of intervals on a Saturday and then joining you guys on a Sunday? Have I caught another illness because Jemima's now getting symptoms of having a cough and feeling a bit rubbish, despite me saying that Jemima never gets ill? She's now ill. So if she's ill, then I must be dying because my immune system isn't as good as hers. I'm thinking, is it all in my head? Am I just a bit sleep deprived? Am I stressed? Because I don't know. Anyway, Saturday afternoon, I felt
catastrophizing was definitely going on.
Oh god, it's like taper tantrums without the taper at a minute. Yeah. Like, that's what I'm feeling like. Anyway, took paracetamol, went to bed early, and Sunday I also saw the clocks come in because I was in Nye's room at 2:00 in the morning and I was awake for 2.5 hours. So I woke up not that fresh on Sunday.
It's really annoying when the whole week you've been like, oh, I'm getting an extra hour's sleep, and then you don't actually get it.
Well, we managed to lie in a bit, but when you've actually been awake for 3 hours in the night, doesn't quite cut it. So Sunday, again now, like fatigue, illness, and everything is just blurred into one. I'm feeling okay. I think I'm just tired. Go out the door thinking maybe I'll do 10 minutes, but I'm definitely not going to do more than 90 minutes. But once I got going, I felt a bit better. Ran 68 minutes, 4:11 a K. Heart rate's pretty normal. Quite low for me, to be fair. 121 meters, 121 beats per minute with some climbing in there. as well. Climbing for me anyway. Wasn't just completely flat along the canal. And felt that, no, I am over this now. I feel good. I'm fine. It's all in my head. And yeah, Monday, Tuesday this week has gone much better. So I'm now very confident that I'm well. I've already, like I said at the start, I've already equaled more mileage in the first 2 days of this week versus last week, which ended up being just over 50k, I think, which is God knows when I last did a 50k week.
Personal best for your lowest mileage week.
52k, 3 hours 42 minutes, 158 meters of elevation. That was my week. So I do think I managed to play it reasonably smartly, though. There were times where I could have done more, and I think it would have just come back to bite me. And I've got myself through it. And at the same time, I was looking through my training going to Valencia last year, and I had a similar week. And actually, in a few weeks' time, I won't even remember the fact that I had an awful week because you've moved on, sessions are back to normal, and it's just a blip, and it never goes perfectly. So I think I managed it as best I could for someone who obviously really is invested in the outcome in 6 weeks' time when you can't run very much. And I felt like I'd already had a disrupted week last week. It was getting to me a little bit. I think Jemima would say I was pretty grumpy, but I would say I didn't moan, but maybe outwardly appeared grumpy. But it's done, and we're back.
Yeah, and you got to think back, like 2 weeks ago, you ran, or whenever it was, you ran the Cardiff Half, like really great result. Then you had the other session after that, really good session. Like
that's the thing. Yeah, it's all
like
when you think about it rationally,
you're not back at square one here. You've just had time to recover and probably like feel fresh again.
Yeah, so that was my mindset on Sunday last week, and then this week I was starting to think now things are going to start slipping, and I know I'm not going back to square one, but I'd prefer to stay at square 100 rather than be back at square 50. So yeah. It just becomes frustrating, isn't it? But you've got to just accept it, and when you're ready, you'll be ready, and not try and just keep making false starts, which is what I did last weekend. But we'll move on from that.
You're a new man now.
New man, smarter man, and by the time I get to the next marathon block, I'll have forgotten this whole experience and go through the same thing again, I'm sure. But anyway, for this block, I'm hoping that that's the illness ticked off and done. But there is still plenty of time to get another bug.
Fingers crossed, no.
But anyway, 6 weeks to go. So I'm thinking 4 weeks all in.
Don't do that. Don't, because you did this on the Inside Running. What did you say? You said 3 weeks, down week, 3 weeks, and then you immediately got ill.
Exactly. I've had my down week now, so it's 4 weeks.
Take it day by day, week by week.
No, 4 weeks. Big mileage, big sessions, adapting the intensity because I will have gone back a little bit. But
playing it smart, making smart decisions.
It depends, doesn't it? Like, how much risk are you willing to take? And I'm prepared to take more risk with me than I am with any of the athletes I'm coaching. Obviously, I don't want to go and run. What would I be happy with as well in terms of the outcome, and what do I think I need to do to get the outcome I want? I don't know. I'm still working through that and making those decisions, but I'm going to be on the more aggressive side, I think. And if it doesn't pay off, I will still run Valencia and whatever I can. So,
are we having another 71-kilometer weekend?
Oh yeah, 100%. I did 39k today, so we're on track.
We're on track. Well, Pacemaker Dan is always available on a Sunday if he just wants a bit of additional stimulus.
Yeah, I think one thing I do need to do is not try and do half a session with you guys, unfortunately. However much I was enjoying them, doing something that isn't a session but still quite hard is not going to float anymore. Now that you guys have got serious. It was all very well going along and jogging at a nice, comfortable pace in the summer, but now when you're running, I can't go and do a 72-minute half marathon runners session as an easy run anymore, unfortunately.
I've outgrown you.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, that was my very short summary, which ended up being quite a long summary. Let's move on to Jen, shall we?
Go on, Jen.
Go on then. So yeah, I was coming off the Sunday, the 15 free times session with the boys, into the Monday morning, which is always a good run for me. Always feel great on a Monday morning. So I did 10 miles, 7:20s in the morning, and I felt great, to be honest. My GPS, I think, did mess up the first kind of mile though, because it was spitting out like 7:15s, and I definitely haven't touched that pace on the first mile of a run in a very long time. So, when you know every mile from your front door, I was looking down, being like, "Oh yeah, definitely, definitely not quite on pace or on GPS here," but did make me feel good about myself nonetheless. So I did that in the morning, and then in the afternoon, Dave told me we were going out for a 45-minute run. Ended up being 54 minutes, and it was just one of those days where I just didn't want to run a second over 45 minutes, and it was horrendous. And there was no option to get home any easier. It was dark, it was raining, I felt horrendous. Out of all, it was about a 0 out of 10 run, to be honest. It was awful. Didn't even two-step him. I just couldn't muster the energy to do it. So I just had to run side by side.
Did he two-step you? Did he finally get his revenge?
A couple of times, but then I did inch just to get, I couldn't let him get ahead of me at all. But he couldn't see my back for any of the run. So it was just one of those nights, just awful. I had to go out of 5:45 as well. I'd waited all afternoon for him to do it with me, which was also a major regret in the end. But there we go. Got it done.
Quality time with your husband, isn't that right?
Absolute quality time. I think we said about 6 words to one another, actually. It was great. But it was a big, coming off the long run on the Sunday, for me, a 17.2 mile day is a big Monday to follow it up with. So I was a bit tired by the end of it, to be honest. But I got it done, and then I went out on Tuesday morning, and I did another 10-mile run, and I definitely feeling a little bit tired on this day. I also don't need to go into it too much, but my menstrual cycle does mess with how my training affects me as well. And this was the day before my period started, and it was just one emotional breakdown in this 10-mile run. But I felt horrendous, and I always know once I get through that day, I'll be fine. But in the moment, it's like the world is about to just fall apart, to be honest.
So how do you cope with that? Do you know it's coming? Do you track your cycle so you know today is going to be a bad day?
Yeah, so I use an Oura ring, so it tracks my cycle. And to be honest, it's so accurate. It's pretty much bang on within a day when it's going to arrive, pretty much. And I saw it kind of telling me today was the day it was going to be all just tits up, and it was completely right. And I have the same thing every single month. And I realise now, when I first started happening and started tracking my cycle, it was I couldn't understand why I'd go from feeling amazing to feeling great in such a short period of time to then feeling amazing again. But now it makes a lot more sense. And the day before my period comes, it was horrendous. And there's nothing I can do about it. I've tried everything, changed my food, changed my training. But whatever I do, easy run session, it's just not a good day. And I'm just usually really emotional, and my legs feel horrendous. But I just survive and advance, pretty much.
What happened to the race falls on that day?
It's happened, and it's just a shit race, pretty much. Well, I say that, I did the Valencia 10K in January, and I ran 32:45. But I think I went into it thinking I was in a bit better shape than that. In the past, before that, it'd probably psychologically have thrown me off completely. But I think now I just kind of accept it, and you just run to the best you can on that day. I was panicking that it would happen around the marathon, because you can't go and do another marathon in 3 weeks' time. But I don't think it's going to happen, thank God. But yeah, I think for most races, it's you can always go back and do another one at another time if you need to. But with the marathon, I think because it's something that you can only do twice a year, and I've never had experience of running a marathon, so I don't know what it should and shouldn't feel like. Didn't want it to end like that, but luckily I don't think it's going to. Rather than on this Tuesday morning when I had had to stop and have a cry at about 5 miles on my 10-mile run.
I tell you what, we've got it bloody easy being men, I think, Owain.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't swap. I wouldn't trade.
I can confirm it's pretty crap at some points, but then some points you feel amazing as well. Like on the Wednesday, I'll get to in a minute, I felt incredible. So it's like mad how it can change in 24 hours as well.
So I think just the contrast though, you felt so bad yesterday and you don't feel so bad, so you're thinking, oh, maybe I don't know.
It's just like, so I did that in the morning and then it got even worse in the afternoon. I went out for what was meant to be a 45-minute run. I stopped at 42 minutes and 9 seconds. And I think I also cried on this run, to be honest. I was running 7:45s and it felt like I was running about 6:30 miling. It was just awful. I came home to Dave and I like walked in, burst into tears again. I was like, it's just one of these days. I hate myself. I'm a horrible person. He's like, oh, I know what's coming. So he ran me a bath and we made dinner, went to bed and woke up the next morning and the world was a much brighter place. So Wednesday started with 20 by a K on off, which was the first. I've seen this session done by so many people and I've always wanted to do it. So I was really glad that when the day came, I was in a position to do it. And this didn't land on the Tuesday. If it did land on the Tuesday, I probably would have moved it to the Wednesday, knowing what I do about my cycle now. But it happened to be on the Wednesday and it went really well. Well, I think it went really well. The aim was to basically run the ons at LT2 and then the offs at LT1. And then, the average should land somewhere bang in the middle, which is probably where marathon pace effort should be, we hope. And it pretty much landed about there. The ons were 3:24 to 3:26. And then the offs were about 3:45. Average 3:35s for 20K. My heart rate was 177, which is like bang in the middle of my LT1 and my LT2, pretty much.
Did you notice it drifting through the session?
It did drift a little through the session, like probably like up towards 185, like peaking in the last like couple of reps, and then obviously not dropping as low into the offs as well.
Yeah. Like I think
you're actually picking the paces up in general, right?
Yeah, I felt honestly, I felt so good. I think my last K was like 3:21, 3:22. I lap my watch automatically, so sometimes I'm a bit off on the Ks. I always like to go a little bit over so I don't get taxed by the Strava.
3:22 is what the Strava's saying.
Yeah. And then last float's always a bit of a free for all, isn't it? So
it's not a float, is it? You just have it
done as quickly as possible. But it was one of those sessions where like the further it went, the stronger I felt, and like the more pop I had off the ground, and the better I felt, to be honest. Coming off the day before where I couldn't really manage to run anything quicker than a 7:45 mile, the contrast is like amazing. But I was really pleased with this session, and it did give me a bit of. I know it's only 20K. I've got to basically do that again plus a bit more.
So you have effectively run a 75-minute half marathon in training, using a pacing strategy, which is not how you would approach a race.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which is pretty encouraging.
Yeah, so I did come off this like pleased and like hopeful that it means I'm in some sort of decent bit of shape. But yeah, like I said, it's only 20K and there's a long way to go. I think that's the thing that scares me the most about the marathon is like any other distance I've ever trained for, I've been able to go into do a session that basically reflects exactly the distance and the intensity of whatever said race is going to be, whether that's 5 by a K or 3 minutes or 4 by 2K at 10K pace, anything that like reflects the race I'm going to do. Whereas this, like, I'm never going to run the distance before I even stand on the start line, let alone anywhere near the like intensity it's going to be at for 2.5, hopefully, hours. So it's like, it's really hard to like gain loads of confidence from anything that I'm doing.
it is in that first block where you've got no reference points.
Yeah.
Because you can't even compare to sessions you've done previously. It is difficult to be super confident in a time. Like I'm sure going into a 5K, you could say, I'm going to run somewhere between 15:10 and 15:20.
Yeah.
Whereas in a marathon, you can go in and go, I'm going to run somewhere between 2:27 and 2:40.
Yeah, it's literally that. And it's like even the session, like it's like I reckon I could have kept going and doing another 5 to 8K of that, and I'd probably been all right. But I'm still nowhere near the end of the race yet. Like, what happens after
But
that?
it's having that appreciation that on the day when you are tapered, you're carb loaded, you're emotionally, psychologically ready for a really hard effort. It just feels easier.
Yeah. And like I have people around me and stuff. Like I did this session like entirely by myself. My headphones weren't connecting to my watch. I had no music. Like I had my own thoughts. It was like I had a big slam of the boot before the session started because I couldn't connect my headphones to my watch. So I was ready to listen to my 1975 album, and I just couldn't get it to work. I was like, this is going to be the worst day of my life. Had to like just listen to the breathing. But apart from that, it was really successful. I took 2 gels on as well during the session,
In the floats or in the efforts?
In the efforts. I just want to make it like as hard for myself as possible, you know. Just training the gut. I've not yet had any issues, so I feel
That's
like
an elite mindset, I think, Owain. I think it's a reason why Jen's a pro athlete.
it's like, you know, you just got to make it as hard as possible. Then anything else is going to be easier, right? But yeah, so that was Wednesday morning, 20K at 3:35s. We finished. We did drive to Brod afterwards, and we got a couple of pastries and some coffees, which was a canale snang and a canale stang. I don't know how good my pronunciation is, but they were a great way to finish off the morning.
That's pretty good.
Danish bakery, for those who don't know. I reckon overrated, I'll be honest.
You think? No, I don't know what they put in the icing they put on top of these pastries, but it's like you just can't beat it. It's like chef's kiss. It's so good.
It's not bad. It's not bad, but I wouldn't like be raving about it like some people do.
We drove all the way over to Pontcanna for that. It was worth it. And I was well fueled for the afternoon. Went out for another 4 miles. 7:58. Trying to like take these recovery runs a little bit more seriously these days. / try not to 2-step Dave every single time because I don't know if he's going to like divorce me or something if I keep doing it. So I'm trying to like just, you know, stay in line with him. But
21-mile day.
21-mile day. So take that. It's been a big week so far for me. That was my biggest ever 3 days in a row. Well, 4 really if you include the Sunday as well. So yeah, we'll get to the total mileage at the end of this week, and we'll you know, review. But I went out on Thursday morning. Did another 10-mile run. It's been a theme this week. Again, felt pretty decent day after a session in the morning, 7:20s. I enjoyed that one. Then went out. Then I had gym session. Just doing one. I think I said it last week. I'm just doing one gym session a week at the moment, and that's a struggle in itself, to be honest. But still dragged myself there and did the standard exercises. I'm mainly just trying to like make sure I keep in like my calf stuff, which because I've got a really bad post tib tendon in my foot, so keep on top of all the calf stuff and the rehab stuff for that, and then just keep in the plyometrics, which really helped with my foot as well, and then like some other like standard sort of strength exercises that runners do to try and just keep injury free. Pretty much, I'm not trying to gain anything from this weight training than just staying injury free, and feeling like I'm ticking the box. So if I do get injured, I can't blame it on the fact that I haven't been to the gym. So I did that.
I've just given up from the gym now, so I just can't. It's just not happening.
I feel like over the next 6 weeks, it's going to dwindle even more. And then as soon as the taper comes, it's going to be like, well, no point going to the gym now. But Johnny listens to this podcast and he will be very disappointed if he hears that I have not gone to the gym. So, anyone.
It's just Strava keeping you accountable again, isn't it?
Yeah,
Strava keeping you accountable.
he's keeping me accountable. So yeah, lunch gym session, and then I came back home and went out again in the afternoon. Did 6.2 miles, 7:42s. I've been loving just doing laps of Pontcanna Fields at the moment. I know you absolutely rinsed me for it last week, but it's just so easy. It's like you just don't have to think. So I just
you think, oh God, another bloody lap. That's what I'm thinking when I'm doing
stuff.
Then like
nah, because I'm just like, it's just like you run there. It's like a couple of laps. You run home, and that's like 6 miles done. It's so easy. So, but this was before the clocks changed, and it now has got slightly more difficult. And I don't own a head torch, so I'm gonna have to change my routes or buy a head torch. But my spatial awareness isn't good in daylight, and I don't trust myself to not trip over something in the dark. But that was Thursday. That was 16 miles, and then Friday morning, I went out for another 10-mile run. Went with Dave, met Jake, went down towards the bay, and I felt really good on this morning, to be fair. 7:27s. Had Jake yabbering in my ear for an hour and 15 minutes. He's getting his weekly shout out on the podcast, which he did request. So
there you go, ticks that box. Move on.
Hope he's listened this far in to get the shout out.
That's why you've gone last gen, just to bury Jake's shout out.
See who the real listeners are.
See if he hears this.
So that was Friday morning. Friday afternoon, it was awful weather. It was horrendous. We drove to the gym because Dave was going to go to the gym, so we ran from like big Tesco's, and it was getting dark. It was like torrential rain, like just like you couldn't see that sort of rain. It was awful. We ran for about 3 minutes and then stood under the bridge by Tesco. We were like, should we just wait for the rain to stop? Should we not? Looking at each other like, what the hell are we doing out right now? This is just ridiculous. We were like, nah, let's just crack on. So we went up the Taff towards Taft's Wow, and then kind of turned around and came back again. But and Dave said as I like ran home, he went to the gym. He was like, oh well, at least it stopped raining for a bit. It should be fine now. As soon as he said that, and I must have run about 10 steps, and the heavens opened again. It was like it was like gushing water for the last like 5 minutes of that run. It was awful, truly horrific. Would not recommend, and I did rate it -10 out of 10 on my Strava, to be fair. But I got it done, and that was another 16-mile day. So it was a big 5 days for me this week. But Sunday is still Saturday even is still that sacred day. Just 5.8 miles on Saturday morning. Actually, Saturday lunch run it was by the time we got out of bed. And I think Dave and I just spent the whole run huffing and puffing to each other. Didn't really enjoy this one. I did finish up with some strides afterwards though. And I returned home and pancakes were made for me. It was incredible. So good. These aren't available for anyone else, I'm afraid, only for me.
So not Sunday morning I shouldn't expect.
Shouldn't expect them. No. Maybe we can make special allowances, you know. we'll heat up that coffee machine and I'll get Chef Dave onto the pancakes. It's one of the few things he can cook, so
I was gonna say.
But they are very good, so I would recommend. So that was Saturday, and then I think I had perhaps the hardest run of my life on Sunday. I had no squad to run with, no pacemaker Dan, no Owain, like nobody. I started with the boys, and the goal of this run was to do 90 minutes at around 6-minute miling, which like on paper doesn't sound that hard, and I'm still trying to remove that thought from my head. And I perhaps sometimes take it out of context that I was on track to run 114 miles for this week off the back of a 109-mile week, off the back of a 102-mile week, which is like the most mileage I've ever put together in my life. And then I'm trying to do this run. I'm on my own. Like everything that could go wrong pretty much went wrong. And I just felt horrendous. But I'll set the scene. We met at Taft's, we met at Taft's, well, just outside Taft's Wow. Ran for the first 45 minutes with the boys. I was a bit edgy at this point because I didn't feel very good and I knew what was coming. So I was probably running way too fast for the first like 45 minutes. I think we were running like 7:05s, which is probably a bit swift for the warm up. At this point, my heart rate was already really quite high, and I was just, convinced my heart rate monitor wasn't working. And then David said to me, like, if you feel good, you can just run with us, just hang off the back of the group, because I think they were going to be running like 5:50s, 5:45s. I was like, I think that's a bit optimistic, to be honest. I don't think I can do that for 90 minutes. But coming off the run we did a couple of weeks ago at Owain with the Ponty group, where we ran 5:55s for 80 minutes, I was like, oh, maybe I'll be all right. It's only 10 minutes more. That's not that bad. Anyway, I stuck with them for about 3 minutes, and I was like, nah, I'm tapping out of this. Early doors, it's a long way to go. First mile was about 5:56, so I was like, we're there or thereabouts. Second mile, 6:02. Next mile, 6:04. Then I had a couple of sub-6s, and then it just got progressively worse after that. I went 6:07, 6:07, 13, 6:11, 11, 11, 13, 14, 19, 6:10 to finish. And then I stopped and felt very sorry for myself before jogging it back to the car. But it was just one of those runs where, like, I opened one of my Morton gels, and it was like slushy, and it just went all over me, so I got really sticky. And then I like twisted my foot on like a stick on the road. Like I got like not attacked by a dog. That's very dramatic. A dog got in my way, and like my legs were tired, so I didn't have the agility to move around the dog. And it was just like 10 minutes in, I wanted to quit. Half an hour in, I wanted to quit. An hour in, I was like, I'm just going to stop here and jog at home. And I was like, nah, come on, Jenny, like, just, you can do this, grow up. Got to like an hour and 10 minutes, like, nah, I've had enough of this. I can't do it. Running back up towards Taft's Well, you have to add on a little, that awful trail loop you and Jake do. Like, I had to go around it twice to get to 90 minutes. At this point, I was just like, I don't think I'm cut out for the marathon life, but I managed to do it, got the job done. It was my longest run. It was 21.7 miles. And it was my biggest mileage week. I did 114 miles, so we'll take it. But in the moment, it was the hardest 90 minutes of my life.
You couldn't have done 10 more seconds to get to 2 hours 20?
Absolutely not. No. No, definitely not.
It's a very good week. A lot of mileage.
A lot of mileage. Hence why this week has already been pre-programmed many weeks in advance to be a reduced mileage week, with some slightly smaller sessions in it as well, which at the time when I saw it in my plan, I was really kind of pissed off about, but now it makes lots of sense to me, and it's what I tell all my other athletes as well. It's just, when it's happening to me, I don't want to accept it, but here we are.
I think like we were saying about this coming weekend, like 75 minutes of stuff, like that's 75, 80 minutes is probably the right amount in a long run. I think like 90 is
tough, especially when it's like on your own by yourself. And like I said, like 6-minute miling doesn't, like, if you went and asked me to run 6 by a mile at 6-minute miling, I'd be like, is that even a session? But when you're trying to put it together for that duration in the context of everything else you're doing, it's actually really hard.
Yeah.
It's
and
like 90 93% of marathon pace, maybe even more than that. It's quite like a high percentage.
And I think I don't think we can underrate how good the setup was when we did the 80 minutes. Just in terms of like, we just didn't lead at all. Like we just didn't have to look at our watches for pace once, sort of thing, which I think like probably gives you a few seconds a K. Like then you've got, just running in a group as well. Like, yeah, I think we had everything going for us that day. So then when you don't, and you've got to run further.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard.
And that week came off the week before where I only ran like 70 miles because we had the wedding. Yeah. So I came into that week like pretty fresh as well. So I'm hoping by the time next weekend rolls around, I'll feel good again.
I mean, just psychologically, 90 minutes straight of uninterrupted intensity is hard, isn't it? Especially when you're by yourself.
Yeah. But then
you get it just slightly wrong, or you've got a slightly more fatigue in your legs than you expect, and suddenly you find yourself very vulnerable.
Emotions. But then like part of me is like, that's probably the one thing I've never done in my life that I feel is very like, perhaps like when I say specific to the marathon is literally 26 miles of uninterrupted running at a high intensity. So it's something I've got to practice or like got to do in some element, I feel, in training to give me, at least I can like go into the marathon now being like, I know I can do something hard for 90 minutes. Hopefully the marathon doesn't get hard until at least like halfway. So I know I can do 90 minutes of something hard. Like I should be okay. And I think I needed to tick that box to like.
You were out there for 2 hours 20, weren't you? So that's pretty much the duration you're going to be out there for the marathon.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing that scares me the most about the marathon. Like, can I do it? Like, I mean, like I probably can do it if I want to run 3 hours, but I don't want to do that. So it's like, can I do hard? Like, yeah, I feel like sometimes it's more of the mental side of can I actually do something that's hard? And can I like?
You will have no issues pushing yourself hard for 26 miles.
I don't think Absolutely. I will, but then sometimes you just get in your head, don't you? And you start doubting yourself.
You're not. One challenge you will not face is getting to 20 miles and thinking, you know what? I don't think I can push here. That's not how you're wired.
No,
it's not how you're wired.
I don't think so.
The only way that might be happen is if you've gone out too hard and you are pushing as hard as you can. Just the pace is pretty slow when you're trying to put out that effort. But on race day, it's amazing how quickly it goes.
Yeah, even the time
you don't think you've been out there for as long as you have.
Yeah. I'm always surprised at how quickly like it drags, but it goes fast at the same time. Like you look down and you watch 2 minutes has passed, but then you look down again and it's been half an hour.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. The last 10K will be the longest 10K of your life.
I can imagine.
The first 2 hours, the first hour 40 will go pretty quick.
Yeah. And I think like, even when like Dave and I started like talking about the marathon, I definitely didn't give it enough respect as what I give it now. Cause I was like, oh, why are you saying like taking the first 10K like a little easier? Like, what's the point of that? Surely I should just be getting out there and like just getting on it from the start. Whereas now, like after I've done a few of these runs, I'm like, yeah, I definitely need to just like cut my ego a little bit there, or like perhaps taper down what my expectations are for the first one, and have a positive experience that like doesn't leave me like never wanting to do one again. And if that means I run a couple of minutes slower, but I do it in the right way, then that's probably like for the best. Pretty much.
Yeah, you don't want to come out of it saying you're never going to do one again.
No.
You want to have a good experience on your first one, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
And if you go out a little bit more conservative, you can always pick it up. You're not going to lose not that much time.
No.
You can always get it back, especially with you who's got a good top end. It's not like you're limited by your speed. So if you're a bit fresher going into the final few miles, start running 5:20s.
Yeah.
You're gonna get loads of time back, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. So I think, originally I was like, don't know if I believe in this theory, but now I've experienced it in real time. Like, definitely something I tell myself and I tell other people.
Nice. Good weeks, you two.
Yeah, really
good decisions
solid.
by you, Dan.
Yeah, smart decisions.
I feel like today was a good day on day of recording, so I'm happy, but I am back this time. I'm back ready to go and excited.
Just not going to write anything too like positive in the Strava titles, just in case.
Exactly, it's just facts from now on.
Yeah,
no emotion, just facts and lactates,
and maybe a hit list.
A hit list. That is, I do like this idea of a hit list. I'm not confident enough to put anything out there yet.
You've got 40 days to make good decisions.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I've made the good decisions now, so now I can capitalize on those good decisions to be really aggressive now for the next 4 weeks.
We don't want to see any more worried comments from your mum.
Oh, that's a guarantee they'll be there.
Nah,
nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
Leave it there for this week.
I think so.
Nice.
Nice.
Another mega episode.
I know. One day it will be shorter.
We promise.
It won't be.
The wrap up's going to be massive.
Yeah.
Cool. Right, we'll catch everyone next week.
All right.
Yeah.
Guys.
Good to speak to you all.